What is going on? We are back with episode 3 of the Backlash Boys. Tonight we have Dustin and Robbie. Cal could not make it tonight because he has internet issues. So it's just going to be the three of us tonight. How's everybody doing?
Doing good, yourself?
Doing pretty good.
Doing pretty good. If
anybody in the comment want to make sure y'all can hear us, leave us a comment and we'll kind of get this thing rolling. As you've seen as the title today, we're going to be talking about how we prep for a tournament, and then we're going to do a little bit of a Q&A, and then we're going to do how our thoughts on tournament payouts. Talk about the BFLs, which one we think has the better payout for like the lower end, like where you can actually pay to get into it, and just our thoughts on if we think it should get raised. Entry fees be lowered, anything like that. But we'll start it off. Any of y'all fish this weekend? I did not.
I didn't get the chance to. Rob?
Thursday night.
Yeah,
how'd we do?
We fished.
Fourth in big fish.
I finished fifth, right behind Robbie.
I tell you.
I mean, I dropped 2 spots from the Thursdays, past 2 Thursdays.
I got you, Tyler. We'll work something out, baby. I got Junior over on the other side.
Can't fully see it.
Yeah. I can't see it. I can't see the comment.
You can't see anyway.
I can see them, but my eyesight ain't that great.
You got to have a magnifying glass to tie a knot.
I have to get right up on the screen so I can read it.
I don't know. I don't know who Cal's gonna get to tie on after you get a little older.
That's funny. All right, let's start this off. Tournament prep. Everything that we talk about, tournament prep, whatever y'all want to talk about, we can talk about what we did before we get there, the night before practice, and then the night before tournament. Um, I can start it off. Who wants to start it off? Dusty, Robbie, or me? Whichever one y'all want me. You want me to start it off?
Don't
You got
matter.
the first. You got the
Well,
first tournament, bigger tournament coming up.
I think too that boater prep is probably a little bit easier than co-angler prep of
I
what
disagree.
to bring. You
I
think
I
so?
disagree.
think I think I think tournament. I think boater prep's a little bit more strung out. I think co-angler prep's more the night of.
Well, yeah, true. But having what you think that they might be hitting at that lake or what your boater might be doing,
Oh yeah,
Right.
for sure.
I learned
bringing
a lot
enough
from you,
stuff.
Rob. I mean, heck, during practice days, I learned probably as much from what you're throwing more than anything. That's why I'm always trying to throw something different, and even if you're wearing me out with something, because I'm just trying
Now,
to find everything in the world they're hitting.
Me and Dust
Steve,
has a little competitions during practice.
I
Steve,
am the practice champion on occasion.
Steve
Very
Moore
few.
says highs, and
What's up,
then
Steve?
Garrett Albert said, "Hey, hey."
Hey,
Uh, so with me with a tournament prep, I start very very soon. I almost start if I get a long period of break. So like we've had what 2 months?
By the time you finish, close to 3, I think.
Yeah, I think it'd be close to 3 months. As soon as that tournament's over, I'm already starting to prepare for that tournament. And when I prepare for a tournament, I I look at Google Earth and I look at Navionics contour lines. And so what I do is I usually have two screens up. I look at Navionics if I like anything on the bank, and I kind of try to figure out what I want to do for that tournament. So like Watts Bar, it was more of a deep tournament. I wanted to focus on ledges. That's what I wanted to do. And I knew that going into it. So I spent most of my time looking at Navionics, trying to find little sneak holes that I can go ahead and hit when I first get there. So I'm not out on the water looking at my graph, trying to find those little sneaky contour changes, little sneaky holes, or anything like that. Um, but if it's a shallow tournament, uh, I put two screens up. I get Google Earth on one side, Navionics on the other side. And if I find something I like on Navionics on the bank, oh, not Navionics, but Google Earth, then I'll go over, find that same spot on Navionics and see if I like how the contour is set up. Uh, if I like how the contour is set up and I like how everything lays out, then I will go in there and I'll waypoint that stuff, save it, and it automatically saves onto my Lowrance unit. Um, so that's kind of what I do there. But I also do a lot
Hey,
of research.
question,
Yeah.
question. Before we go get you a little closer, how much are you carrying over from like history, like previously fished at that tournament?
That's what I kind of do. When it goes to history, first thing I do with history is I go back and look at any other tournaments. I look at past BFL tournaments. I look at past my tournaments. I kind of look at what time of the year I was there, what I was doing. If I could remember what won it, I try to figure out what time of the year that was won it. Especially what I like about BFLs or any MLF, whoever wins it has an article. So if I
Mm-hmm.
find some tournament that's in that local area, like that local time zone that we're going there, I'm gonna go and read that article and see if it kind of keys me in on everything. Now I don't dictate my whole tournament on that
Right.
because who knows if those people are telling the truth? Who knows? But it can also key you in on a little something. Um, I watch YouTube videos. I try to find YouTube videos on that lake around that time. Any kind of articles, if there's any fishing reports. And another thing I do is I go and find the Facebook page for that local lake. Um, so you can kind of key in on if people are catching fish. You can kind of see if they're shallow, if they're deep, all that kind of stuff. There's anything that can help you gather as much information publicly to set up your game plan of what you want to do. Because I'm that guy, if I go to a lake and I don't have a game plan of what I want to try to do, I'll be scrambled everywhere. Some people are different. Some people just show up and go fishing. Um, I want to have a game plan going into it. Now, if that game plan, but I also try to have backup plans. Like what's bar? I know I wanted to go deep fishing, but if I could not figure out anything deep, I knew I could go. I wanted to go shallow and try to see if I can catch them flipping. That was my backup plan. So I try to go into it trying to have a plan going into it, so I'm not making a plan when I get there. Um, but also when I'm looking at the Google Earth and I'm looking at maps, I'm not just looking at like if it's a ledge tournament, I'm not just looking at ledges. I want to look at something. So like if I'm not catching them on the ledges and I go flip one lay down, I catch them, catch one out of that lay down, and then in my mind I'm like, okay, I know where 5 or 6 other lay downs are, a bank full of lay downs because I've seen it on Google Earth when I was doing my lake study. You know what I mean? So like I can go ahead and look at the whole lake without actually driving my boat and looking at the whole lake. So like
I got you.
if like I said, you go into a pocket and you catch them on a laydown, instead of riding around trying to find another bank that has a laydown on it, you already know where banks are with laydowns on because you mark those in your pre practice.
When do you kill the plug on the situation where you think that you're going to catch them doing say Watts bar? I had it in my mind that I was staying shallow just because of the research I'd found in the tournament I had previous before that BFL.
Mm-hmm.
When do you pull the plug on staying deep and moving shallow, or moving from shallow to going deep?
That's tough because I try to at least give it a whole day. Now, with that whole day, if I'm fishing deep or I'm grafting around deep and I see a bank that has a good laydown on it, I'm going to go and fish those laydowns real quick. You know what I mean? So it's like I can scan out deep. I see a bank. Let me go hit that real quick. I'm going to go back to scanning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't
It, it
know.
it's like you got to be mentally prepared for that. We talk about getting over what we want to do, looking at all this stuff, but mentally, if you've got the deep pattern or the shallow pattern, and your deep pattern's paying off during practice, and it don't happen during the tournament, it's constantly in your mind. Should I be shallow?
Yeah.
Or if you're shallow, should I be deep? And it plays games with you on the mental aspect. Fishing's
Now,
a lot of mental.
oh yeah, 100%. Now there's some situations where I'm throwing my whole basket, like putting everything in one basket, because I know going into Del Hollow, I could not compete unless I was out there scoping and if I found the shad. So I put all I did was idle. I just idled and looked for shad. I didn't fish shallow, not one time, because I just knew that that was what I needed to do to win and or get a good check. Same thing with Watts Bar. I fish shallow maybe an hour total. I kind of just do because that's what I feel confident in. You feel confident up flipping the bushes. I feel confident out there going deep. That's just where I feel confident. So it kind of can go into what you're more confident in doing.
And that's what you got to do. You got to fish your
Yeah.
confidence.
Um,
Like going to the Watts Bar tournament. Me and Gavin had not even seen each other during practice. I pull up that morning to fish some stuff, and I look and I said, Gavin's sitting in that grass pocket where the fish were at that I was going to fish for. But I was up shallow flipping and I was catching them. So I told him about another deep hole just right from that, because I had then
Now,
made up my mind I was staying shallow the rest of the day.
now, did you
yeah.
tell him about the deep hole to get him off your grass?
No, I didn't even go over near it.
No.
I caught one of the fish I weighed in was caught right there in front of
me.
Gavin.
And I
Yeah.
caught one right before that in front of you.
You are cute.
But and I'll listen to podcasts all the time. Everybody's tournament prep, tournament mindset is different. Everybody's. I just listened to a podcast with Brandon Kopp. He said he doesn't even pre-practice. All these other people will go and pre-practice. He said, I don't even take information. I don't even go to lakes that are near that lake because it messes with my mind. Because if I go to, he's like, I'm from Lake Hartwell. I could go practice on Russell, but I know personally that Russell is totally different than Hartwell. And that just goes to show that everybody is different, because some people will go out there and pre-practice, or they'll go and fish body of water similar to that so they can kind of key in what they did there to a different lake. So I think everybody's mindset's different when it comes to tournament prep, and it's no, there's I don't think there's a right way, and I don't think there's a wrong way, because some people that do good on these BFLs, they don't even practice; they just show up and go fish.
Yeah.
But for me, I like to have it where I know that at the last second, if I know that, like, for example, at the Old Hickory, at the middle of the day, I got on a grass bite that I had nothing in practice on, and there was not much grass in the lower end. But from my research, I knew there was a lot more grass up in the river. So I cooked it and booked it to the river and never practiced up there. But I remembered that there was a lot of grass from my pre-search that I knew if I got on a grass bite, I could run up to the river because there was a lot more grass. So that's how I like to have it. I like to, because before in tournaments, I would go and focus I would want to try to ride around and see the whole lake. And that's another thing I can go into. I could talk for hours about tournament prep. I try to pick one area of the lake and I try to pick it apart. Because what I used to mess up before is I was like, I want to go to the dam this day. I want to go way up in the river this day. I want to go mid lake this day, or I want to go river mid lake this day, dam this day. And it used to mess me up because I'd catch a fish here, I catch a fish there, I catch a fish doing that over here, that here. It just messed me up. So my research is trying to find the most popular area on that lake that usually produces fish, most tournaments are won out of, or just an area that I like that sets up for me. And I just try to pick that area of the lake apart.
That's the key, because fishing something that fits your style. I think that's where we get in trouble a lot of times, is we try to fish other styles that we can't do. Mentally, we can't. It's a mental block for us, but we still try it. We run here, run there. We try to fish the whole lake instead of breaking it down to one area of the lake.
Yeah, for sure. What do you do, Dusty?
And, well,
Go ahead, Rob. I hit it.
no,
You done.
go ahead. Well, go ahead. I'll do
No,
mine.
go ahead. You can't start twice and then tell me to go ahead.
Well, I just try. I do all the research that I can. But I like Gavin. I look on Facebook pages just to see if there's fish being caught or what depth. I like fishing shallow. I love cranking. It's probably one of my best things to do is cranking. And I can do shallow cranking and deep cranking, but with the shallow cranking, I can crank a lot faster and cover a lot more water. So I try to find stuff in an area, and are they shallow, or is the people catching them shallow, or are they catching them deep, and try to adjust a tournament by that and getting on the water and most time if I have bad practice days, I normally have a pretty good tournament. If I have a great practice, it tends to be a bad tournament.
It can mess with you.
It's a bad
you
day
talk
for
about
me
the
when
net.
he's wearing it out on practice, because all he's doing is talking.
Yeah, I like to talk a lot when Dustin's in the boat.
He's like, "Oh, look, 8-1, 8-1."
I say we're practicing at South Holston, and he's up on me in practice. And his dad calls early that morning, or his mom, which is my aunt and uncle, and he says, "Guess what? I'm up on Rob." I think it was
Matter of
5-2, 5-2.
I think I called them because I knew it wasn't going to last.
Oh yeah, you did. You did.
Yeah, and if they didn't call before that, I was going to be losing.
So after practice that day, I said, "Dust, you call mom and dad, tell them what the final score was."
I did. No,
no.
Didn't know.
But
they got to spend the rest of the evening.
It does. It does mess with your mind a lot.
Okay, here's a really good question.
Okay.
What do y'all shake off in practice? I mean, do y'all shake off in practice?
Rob don't, because I'm gonna catch it behind him if he shakes it during practice, because I'm normally with him.
I don't believe in shaking off fish. I don't think. Now, there's certain situations where I think it can work, but I don't believe in if I flip in a bush and now I won't set the hook. I won't do that. But if I set the hook and shake that fish off, that fish ain't gonna bite again. Now, what I will do is if I flip in there and I feel him bite, I won't set the hook. And or if I'm fishing something that I can do this in, I'll put a screw lock in my worm or my creature bait or anything like that. So when the fish bites it, there's no hook.
Yeah, I tend like my top water plugs or crankbaits. I'll bend my hooks in.
Yeah.
A lot of times I want to catch at least a couple
Yeah.
to see what's there because I don't want to catch a bunch of short fish thinking that they're bigger fish because I didn't set the hook on any of them.
I do that with schools, like schools of fish. I'll
Yes.
catch one or a few and see the size of them. Because if I pull up on a school and they're all pound and halfers, they ain't gonna do me no good. And I kind of did that at Del Hollow. I pulled into a pocket and I would catch one until I caught a largemouth. Because with a smallmouth, I didn't want to pull in a school and they be all smallmouth, and I can't lay them in a tournament unless they're over 21. I can only have one. So I would go to each school and at least catch one until I caught a largemouth. And or if I caught a small one, like a 2-pounder, I would catch another one and see if they're all 2 pounds. So I can kind of mark that area out or save it if I need a limit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if I catch, go back to the Watts Bar tournament because that was our last tournament. I pulled up on a spot, which it was pouring down rain. My wife was with me; she was ready to go in. I pull up on one spot, make 2 casts, and catch 2 big smallmouth, and I said, "Okay, I'm done. I'm starting right here." I done made up my mind. That's where I was starting at. But
Yeah.
as far as sitting on a hole and burning them up during practice, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I try to stay away from that as well. Okay, Dusty, as a co-angler, how do you
Oh, here we go.
practice? How do you prep? How do you practice? If you're fishing
Uh,
with Robbie, do you try to figure out what I can do behind somebody? Like try to figure out what bait works behind something? Uh,
I do. I do. A lot of times I'm fishing at the end of practice. I normally try to fish at least 1 day, hopefully 2 days with Rob at the tournament's practice. Um, I'm trying to get as much confident stuff as possible because I know Friday night when I get that boater draw, that things could change. But I want to at least going into it to have 1 or 2 things that if it's tough and I ain't getting a bite, that I feel confident I can at least throw. And everybody
yeah,
knows on this podcast, I got a little D worm that I like to throw. I'll throw it out there and I'll fish it till the cows come home if I got to. But I'm watching YouTube videos a little bit, um, more or less pausing, not really focused on what they're saying, but trying to see what's on the end of the rods a little bit, trying a little hustle here. Like, is that got a specific color or whatever? Then tournament
and
time,
sometimes and sometimes it can kind of key you in on what they like on that lake. You know what I mean?
right, right. If
Um,
I'm watching 3 or 4 YouTube videos and it's all like a little creature bait, obviously I'm gonna have at least one tied on, especially if it's
yeah.
that time of year.
As a
Made by who?
co-angler,
Hey, sometimes I got two. I'll throw a Berkeley. I'll throw a Guggen. Rob is a real big fan of Guggen. I'm
Yeah,
just saying.
I am.
He's going to have a Guggen banner behind him before the end of this fishing season. I feel it.
if I was a co-angler, I would try to find. I would focus on what, like if I'm with practicing with Robbie, I'm gonna focus on what he's doing
Right.
and keep that in the back of my mind if it's working.
Mm-hmm.
And then see what my boater's doing. If my boater's doing something totally opposite than what Robbie's doing, but he's still up on the bank, I'm gonna tell him what Robbie was doing. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like if he's
Yeah.
catching them flipping, and my boater's not going flipping, but he's gonna be on the bank, I'm gonna have a flipping rod like right there.
Right. And
But then
that's
I
happened before.
also, yeah, and then I also try to figure out what I can do behind somebody flipping, so I know that if my guy goes flipping, I know what to do.
So,
And with Cal, go ahead.
some of the best co-anglers that do well in BFLs, I think one of their best baits that they throw behind you is a shaky head.
Yeah, I'll throw that
I
D
think a
behind their
shaky
boat
head,
all
but
day.
you know what Cal's wanting more money on? A Kitech.
Kitech.
I think that's probably one of the shaky head and Kitech's probably the two best co-angler baits almost year round.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. And you can throw it behind them even if they're throwing something similar. Even that. But yeah, I mean, there was a specific tournament. Robbie was catching them on a buzz bait. Guy in front of me was throwing a spook. I threw a buzz bait for a little bit. So yeah, I learned what Robbie has, and then I have a little confidence too.
He said every co I've had this year has thrown a shaky head. He must be best friends with Robbie.
Well, most of the ones I've seen several real good co-anglers. Bobby Drennan's probably one of the best co-anglers in the back of the boat that I've seen fish before. And a lot of times they tweak stuff to figure out how to do it. And a lot of times I believe it is a shaky head that is thrown more than a Kitech, because most of the time they're fishing slower and they're dragging it, trying to get those fish to react that the boater has passed up.
Yeah.
Hey, I see we got another co-angler in the comments today too. He ain't fished in a year or two, but I see Larry Brummett. What's up, Larry?
I'm just here to learn Robbie's steps so he'll quit taking my money. You know, I could have took Robbie's money if I could have got that third one in the dang boat Thursday.
Coulda, woulda.
Shoulda, coulda,
Ifs
woulda.
and buts were candy and nuts. We'd all have Merry Christmas.
Hey, Cody White, guess who? Hey, Cody White, me and Robbie's fishing together on Thursday this time.
Cody, you ain't got to worry about nothing. Them two's going to be up there butting heads,
Thursday.
talking about let's drop shot.
Not Thursday. I can't kick Chuck out of the boat.
Chuck said he wasn't fishing.
I think he's fish. I don't know what we're doing. We'll have to figure it out.
Chuck said he's done fishing for the rest of the year. That's what he told me. You were there.
That's because he's crawling in my boat Thursday. He's got tired of riding.
Yeah.
Dusty, you working this week?
I'm off Thursday. Wife's got to work Thursday night, so I probably won't make the Thursday nighter.
You fishing Tuesday night?
Me?
If I have a babysitter pop up in the comments, maybe. I'm looking.
Oh, Michael, go bring him. I want you to bring him.
Who we bringing?
Michael Knapp. Steve Moore said, I would say it's hard to plan for a lake fishing behind a boat, especially if you're used to fishing a different part of the lake with a different style.
It is. It's when he says I'm going deep, I fish with Robbie enough. I like to be on that bank. That's where all my confidence stuff is. I can find them out there if I have to, but if I have a preference, we're going to be at least close where I can throw the bank.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm glad you boys are putting me on the bank. That way people don't know I can't catch them out deep.
I mean, me and Gavin, it's heard you say it, but we ain't never seen it.
Hey, I've seen it. I've helped them out.
Gavin's seen it.
Okay,
Gavin's seen it.
Without Gavin on the boat,
I've added a little. I've added him some stuff for deep fishing.
Hey, just so everybody on here knows that Cal can't tie a lead or not, but up until a couple weeks ago, Robbie couldn't tie a drop shot.
I could tie it. I just didn't fish it.
Gavin had to tie it.
Well, I made Gavin tie it, so I had it set up right. I mean, I wanted to make sure,
Oh, yeah.
Hey, Gavin got me in trouble at the last tournament. I believe it was at Watts Bar. Gavin comes back and tells my wife, Robbie don't fish a drop shot. Then I got to hear why I don't fish a drop shot. It ain't my style.
Gavin's catching him on a drop shot.
Gavin can catch him on a drop shot.
Oh, yeah.
I love being a little drop shot. Speaking of that, next week's technique of the week is drop shots. So next Wednesday, this Wednesday coming up, go check it out. You can learn all the tips about our drop shots. Little plug. Somebody said, you can't fish on my home lake. You get run over by weight boats. Where's your home lake? Probably Old Hickory, if I want to guess. Well,
that is difficult. Process of fishing.
Yep. Now's the time for any questions. If y'all want to shoot us any questions that you have, now's the time. We should get some like Jeopardy music to play right now.
Jeopardy. Somebody got mad at me. Somebody got mad at me for doing that the other night.
Hey now.
Well, it was tied on.
Hey now. Hey now. Hey now. I tied my knot, right? I checked my line. It's frayed. Tie my knot again. It's frayed. Tie my knot again. I forgot to put the weight on there. Tie my knot again. I pull it, and it snaps because there was a little fray. Tie my knot again. I'm like, all right, I'm good now.
He tied 8 knots and hadn't got it wet yet. 8 knots.
I believe me and Gav finished. Did we finish second the other night?
Yep.
Tuesday?
Sure did.
Finished second Tuesday night.
I'll be at the Super Tournament on Old Hickory. Good luck. Me too, because I need to finish. I might need to make it the second day because I'm in 7th for AOI. I was leading AOI, but I'm only like 40 points out, so I need a good tournament there. I hate that lake, though. Heck, Old Hickory. Have y'all made your mind up of where you're fishing next year?
No.
If he says no, I say no. I'm just going to lie.
I have not made that mind up.
I'm gonna take Dusty for my co-angler link. Dusty, you're coming with me.
Hey, blood's thicker than water.
Hey, you said you'd rather fish with Gavin the other day. Don't give me with blood thicker than water. You had a choice. I picked Gavin. Nah,
Well, Gavin picked me.
That don't make it right. That don't make it right at all.
Somebody asked Dustin, how many fish do you kill per year?
Hopefully none. I've weighed in 1 or 2 dead ones before in the BFL.
You weigh them in?
In the BFL, you can. I mean, of course, they don't.
Well,
say it, but yeah.
Where
you can't 6 ounces.
Where did you have a dead one that you weighed in?
South Holston. It
this year?
kind of like 2 years ago or last year. Last year, it cost me about $80 because it croaked in the live well. So
I mean, it can happen. It really for a co-angler. That question for a co-angler, what if the boaters live wells are not working? Because there is some out there that don't really care.
Yeah, that's the crappy part about it.
That happened to Jake, didn't it?
That did happen to Jake. My son, he had
on South Holston, I think.
Had some die in the live well because the boater after about 3 hours said, "Oh yeah, your live well don't work."
Yeah. I think he told me he lost 2 or 3 of them that day.
Yeah.
That's
Mountain Dew and cocaine. They do push-ups in the live well all the way there.
Papa wants to know if your motor still turns over when your lights are on.
Hey, I can't. Tell Papa I still can't clap. Every time his Papa rewired some stuff, every time I clap, my motor cranks. It's real weird. I'm the only guy that don't need to pee on the leg.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, Gavin installed Panoptics for me this week or past week. His Papa did some work on the boat, and he called Gavin and said that I got it put back together, but every time he turns his lights on, the motor cranks. He had me and Gavin all confused, and then he just.
We tried to tell him that he sold Dusty's boat while it was there, but
hey, if he'd have got the right price, he could have, and I'll give him a little bit.
Whitney would have been happy with Papa.
Yeah, she'd have been real happy until I said I'm gonna need a bigger garage. Just bought a 20-footer.
Screw your new kitchen. I'm getting a new garage.
I'm just kidding, honey. I would go 21, not 20. I need the extra foot up there. I'm a big guy, and I want to lay down sometimes.
All right, Robbie, you start us off on what you think about tournament payouts.
Hmm, that's tough. The BFLs, to me, the payout's not that great if you win. But if you win the regional, that's where you make your money up, I guess, on that. Uh, some of the better payouts, I think, you take Morristown Marine that's giving out 10,000 every tournament,
And what,
and their entry fee,
$150?
something like that,
I think it's only
as a team
150.
trail. So that
Well, it's actually about the same price for y'all, right? Or cheaper? Is it cheaper than
No,
y'all's?
we have 250. Ours is
200,
200.
220,
That's right.
220,
That's right.
220 this year.
Yeah, but if you win and it's a full field, it's only like what, $8,000?
Yeah. How many full fields have we
Yeah.
fished though?
None.
And another thing, I think if they would better the payout a little bit, we wouldn't be looking for co-anglers as much too. You
Mm-hmm.
know, because the co-anglers, if you're not really into that and you're trying to talk your buddy who don't fish tournaments into, I'm gonna spend $110, yeah, just so you don't have to fish boater on boater. Basically, is what you're telling them. Then they got to pay the membership fee for one tournament, which is
Yeah, that's another thing.
crazy.
I wish there was
Yeah.
something better for. I don't think they need to make something, a smaller division that's not pro, that you could make a comfortable living off of, but not pay a fortune to be able to fish them.
Yeah.
Because even the Toyotas, you pay $1,500 a tournament. The lowest payout's $2,000. If you pay for that yourself, you finish the lowest, you're only breaking out $500, and that right there is just your gas alone, probably.
For those, yeah, because most of them's practicing more than 2 days.
And there's
Of a
more
3
than
or
one
4
day
day,
tournaments to it.
and
So
they're
that's
spread out
500.
over
That $500 is probably not even breaking you even.
No.
Now, it's a good division if you have sponsorships that help you pay for your entry fees or pay for other expenses. But if you're trying to be the working man to come out and fish that and try to make a living off of it, it's not the way to go. And I think opens are decent, but they're still not there because they have a higher
Yeah.
entry fee. They have a little better payout, but they have a higher entry fee.
That's
Yeah.
always going to be a discussion. I mean, you look at the elites and the Bass Pro Tours. Those have paid, the entry fees has gone up over the years, but 100,000 per tournament in them series has been a payout for a long period of time.
Yeah. The payouts have been going up, but I mean the entry fees have been going up, but the payouts have stayed the same.
Yeah.
And that's just crappy, in my opinion. There has to be something that has to change because there's going to be a lot more people go to these White Pine Marines, Morristown Marines, because White Pine, if anybody's out here that's not around here, White Pine and Morristown is local marina shops that hold tournaments around here. So I'm sure there's something like that all over the world that people do that. There's going to be more people fish those lower end trails, less known trails, than BFLs, Toyotas, stuff like that. But and I see what MLF's trying to do, and they're only trying to. They only have Toyotas, BFLs, and stuff there is for like a workup system. But it's hard to make a living if you just want to fish the Toyotas the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Definitely, you can't make a living with the BFLs because you literally got to win every single one of them you fish.
Oh yeah.
And even then,
it's tough to win the BFLs because you
it is
get
tough.
you get a lot enter
Local.
BFLs. You get a lot of locals that jump in because it's on their home lake.
Yep, a lot of locals.
As a co-angler, I kind of like that though. It makes me feel good when I know the guy's a local. At least he knows where to go. Now,
Yeah.
hopefully he knows where to go, but he can't catch them. But I hope I like it that.
it does. Those payouts are tough. I mean, it's hard to win the BFLs every tournament. I mean,
Would you rather see
it's
the
nearly
payouts
impossible.
go up and the entry fees stay the same, or entry fees go down, payouts stay the same?
If the entry fee went down, the payout stayed the same, you'd be okay. The only thing is with racing, you look at FLW had done that at one of their toward the end of their last years that they raised the entry fee up on every tournament, and uh, boaters showing up went way down.
And didn't it before you didn't have to pay for entry fee for regionals if you qualified, and now you have
Exactly.
to?
Yeah. It used to be entry fee free on the regionals, but now
Now you
we
have
have
to
to
pay for it.
pay.
Still
The
entry
only
free for
thing
the
you had to
wild
pay
card, right?
for, no. Well, yeah,
Or not the wild
technically,
card, but the
yes.
All American. Yeah,
Yeah, the
I see
Wild
the wild
American's
card.
still free, but the wild card was free. I have fished 2 wild cards, and you could pay the entry fee as like a normal super tournament, and get the same payout as that, but you're still fishing for the top 6. Um, as versus not paying an entry fee and not winning any money, but still fishing for the top 6 spots. I mean, it was an option.
Yeah.
I
One thing
always
I
paid the
like
entry.
about the regional too, I mean, if you're the top fisher from your division, you get a little extra money.
Only
So that always
$1,000.
comes. Hey, it's whatever, dude.
I know, but I think, and I heard this today. This guy said, I would rather win a AOY than I would a classic. And he goes, why? He goes, because it takes me all year to win an AOY, and it takes 3 days to win a classic. And that's true if you think about it like that. He's like, obviously, classics got all this hype around it. I would love to win a classic, but for me personally, I feel more accomplished if I win AOY than I do a classic because it took me all year to win it. Because you
I'll
have to,
take either one.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
I mean, I'll take either one.
but you got to stay consistent all year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're
Yeah.
going to different lakes. A classic's on the one lake. You got to
Yeah.
fish, in the least, you got to fish 9 different lakes and be
You got
good
to
at
pay
all
for
9 of
all
them.
9. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that gets into, you know, these entry fees gets into Dusty's cheeseburger money.
Don't judge. Don't judge.
Cheeseburger Eddie.
Cheeseburger Dusty.
Thanks, Steve, for the cheeseburger. It's delicious. Mm-hmm.
Let's hope that's the only bite the rest of the podcast.
No
but
promises.
but
No promises. It's
getting
good
back,
next to me.
No
you
temptation.
look at
Temptation.
you look at that though. These team trails with the lower entry fee and paying bigger money back, and I think that's drawing a lot of the fishermen. You know, because you got a partner, you're not fishing it with a co-angler. It's you and him against the rest of the field, and have a shot of winning more money.
But you don't get the year-long push from sponsors for win AOY as you would from Classic. Yes and no. Why do you think Gerald Swindle's got so much sponsors?
Hey, careful.
It's a good thing. He's got 2 AOYs.
I'll
He's
make
been
you
pretty
choke on my
consistent.
cheeseburger.
Because here's the thing, if sponsors know, not just personality, dude. That man busts his butt for sponsors.
He is consistent.
You gotta stay consistent to win AOY, so your name is always up there. Look how many. I don't know if you watched live this week. They have talked about AOY leading multiple times. There's been 4 people's names mentioned multiple times because of AOY. You are constantly getting your name out there. When's the last time you heard about Gusty winning the Classic here recently?
Dusty, you want a classic?
That's what I thought he
Gusty.
said. I was like, I said, wait,
Gusty.
Gusty. Oh,
Hey,
you said
I
Dust.
was
I was like,
I
Dust
did
won a
too.
classic, and I didn't even know it. I didn't even get to drive the truck around the arena. What happened?
I couldn't even
That's
win the
a-
raffle
you remember.
at the Toyota booth. I tell you,
That's
the
the
Mercury
promise. You promised if you won the classic, I get to drive the truck.
Hey, if I even fish the promise or fish the classic, you're driving the truck. Gavin's in the boat with me, and I'm going to stage shirtless. I'm paying the fine.
But going back to what I'm saying, when's the last time you heard about him winning the classic? Here recently.
Not very often.
He
You
will
don't
always
really?
go down as a classic winner, but ever since like the third tournament, it is constantly talking about AOI. And how many times has Brandon Polnick's name's mentioned from winning it last year? A crap ton.
I mean, that's a great goal to achieve.
I mean, I'm not taking away from the classic at all. I'm not saying that because obviously I'd love to win the classic. I would die to win the classic. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying is, as a personal of showing how good you are as a fisherman, it shows that you're a better fisherman if you win AOY than winning the classic.
Okay, break it down like this. You're right there, 40 points out right now.
Yeah.
Would you rather win AOY or regional?
Money-wise, regional. But I want to say this though, I would feel more accomplished. I want to win this AOY a lot more than I would want to win a regular BFL tournament.
I'm gonna one up you. Let's say you win the All American. Are you telling everybody you win the All American or you're Angler of the Year?
Well, if
I'm
I
telling
win both, then
everybody
that's
I'm
awesome.
American.
Well, I mean, you know what I'm talking about. You know,
I would.
You compare it to the classic, we'll go the big one for us.
So, what are you saying? If I win both of them, which one I'm saying?
I'm saying, which would you rather win, All American or the Angler of the Year?
All American because it's a long process.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I would rather win.
$100,000.
I'm not saying that I would rather win the classics. They're saying that it's.
So you don't want to win the classic. That's what you're telling us.
That's what you're telling us.
You just want to fish the circuit, the trail, screw the classic.
I'm getting off here. Bye.
Oh, mercy.
No classic. He'd rather walk through the daggone booth.
No, I know what he's saying. What he's saying is true, that you're consistent. That's the reason Gerald's been where he's at, is because he's been win 2 of those.
I'm not saying
he's very consistent.
I'm not saying that AOY is like better than winning a classic has like this hype. I'm saying like if you want to look at it statistically, you are technically a better fisherman if you win AOY than winning the classic. Because you worked all year to staying consistent than 3 days and winning one.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You're very consistent. You got lucky 3 days. You could get somebody could just get lucky 3 days in a classic.
Yeah. And as me, I could win AOY and I got a BFL win. And then I go to the regional, I can do good. Then I could say that I have one heck of a year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you could say that. That's true. But we understand. We understand what does.
You have to be better to win an AOI than a classic. Now, I'm not taking away the win of the classic because the classic's hard as heck to win because of the practice point of it. But talking about being an all-around good fisherman, you have to win. AOI is the trophy to determine that.
Yeah. You're just being consistent and winning or staying in the top. You look at Swindle winning 2. He hasn't won an Elite Series event.
Yeah,
he wants it though. He wants it pretty bad.
Yeah. I mean, there ain't nobody that goes fishing in a tournament that wants to lose. Am I right?
No.
True.
I mean, I'm very competitive. If we're throwing sticks, I'm gonna try to throw my stick further than you so I can win.
I don't care if we have a competition who can wipe their butt the quickest. I am gonna try to beat you in it.
Yeah.
Don't look at me like that, Dusty. Don't look at me.
I thought he froze up.
I did. He just went from Angler of the Year to wiping butts. Fuck you, our sponsor at Dude Watch.
But it is. One of my buddies told me this. CP told me this one time at a tournament. He said the reason we fish these tournaments is because at our age we can't hit a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. We can't slam duck or shoot 3-pointers for the Bulls. We can't play middle linebacker for an NFL team, but we still have the competition inbred in us that we want to compete, and fishing is what we can do. And that's so much of there's a lot of truth to that. I'm too old to do that stuff anymore.
I don't even know what to say right now. Gavin's talking about wiping butts. Whitney's talking about cracks. You're over here talking about God knows what.
Well, this has been an interesting one.
Yeah,
this has been very interesting.
Went a little south quick, but it's all
right. That's who we are.
Yeah, that's exactly who we are.
We have a good time fishing together.
Michael the burger's good.
Just getting the picture. Just getting the picture about how our conversations are on the phone.
Yeah. And tournament days, staying with each other.
Yeah. Well, let's wrap this.
That's like a bad thing too on tournament day, being a co-angler. When Robbie gets Drew with Cal, I'm just over there sitting, you two over there just chit chatting. I see y'all across the way just having a good old time. I'm sitting there with some dude I ain't never met before. Gavin rode up to me last time. He's like, "Hey man, how's it going?
I know. I felt bad for you. You look sad over there. Because your boater wanted to take you all the way away from everybody.
Well, I mean, it happens.
I don't think I didn't see Cal on Watts Bar tournament morning.
Yeah.
I didn't see him either. We sat beside each other, didn't we?
Yeah, me and you did.
Y'all are attached at the hip. It don't matter.
Well, I mean, we gotta have a good time.
I think if y'all got Drew
Cal was beside us at Watts Bar. He did pull up beside us at Watts Bar.
Kevin rolling on Douglas. Oh, were you a co-angler at Douglas?
Who?
Michael. Bless his heart.
That name sounds familiar.
Who?
Yeah, he was.
Nice.
He was your co-angler?
Spot in your heart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, last year.
I hope. Did you catch anything, Michael? Because most of his don't.
He did. He caught 2. Thank you very much.
That's like 2 more than the whole year this year.
Oh crap!
You had a guy sit down and work.
He was enjoying watching me.
Ain't nobody enjoying that, man.
I can't
help nobody enjoying that.
I can't help
that was a polite way of saying
I can't help it.
Because you're out here scoping. Scoping. I'm going to sit down and at least be productive.
I ain't got a chance.
Yeah. Hope my buddies are catching them because I sure ain't got a chance today.
It does make it easier, though, when you get a co-angler that you've had before and you've got that communication that you can cut up. My co-angler on Watts Bar, I enjoyed having him. Every co-angler I've had this year has been pretty good, except for the first one. First tournament.
That was I was like, wait a minute.
No, I enjoyed that. That was the best because he practiced with me 2 days. And we didn't even get his stuff out of my boat the whole time. It stayed in there. I didn't have to worry about picking him up. He got in the boat with me. That made it a whole lot easier.
That was the one I didn't get down there to like 12 the night before. I think I literally shut my eyes and it was time to get up.
Yeah, you go like that one. People say, well, that ain't fair. But it just the luck of the draw, and it worked out good for us because we knowed each other and it played out perfect.
I think going back to AOY, I think AOY is even bigger for co-anglers.
Yeah, because they have fish off the back of the boat.
Yeah, all year long with different people at different lakes doing different things.
I ain't got a chance this year, boys.
And Cal's up there. Cal
has a shot. Yeah, he has a shot. he can do good on Cherokee.
You know, and about the payouts earlier with the co-angler, it's probably it ain't that hard to get if you gotta get a couple keepers, and you're gonna be right around there. So I mean,
Cal's cashed a lot of checks. Now he hasn't
yeah, he's
won a
had a
lot
good
of
year.
money, but he's cashed a lot of checks.
He's had a real good year. I haven't got one this year. I'm kind of in a little rut.
Yeah.
So
Well,
we'll get there.
boys.
If I get a better
Oh my
boat
gosh.
to practice with.
I know exactly who this is about. Cunningly puts it on their truck.
I might have was
Oh
say
man,
something,
I'm not commenting on that. I'm not commenting on that. I am not commenting on that.
Oh gosh. Well, let's wrap it up on that one.
Yeah, end it on that one.
All right, everybody. Make sure you check out for Wednesday our technique of the week. It's on Drop Shots. It'll be up on YouTube and Spotify. We'll post it on Facebook. If you're watching on Facebook, head over to our YouTube real quick. Subscribe. Give us a like. Helps us grow. Also, if you're on Facebook, check our links. You can see all of our social medias. We also have Instagram and TikTok. It is Gavin. Shit, I'm doing my own thing.
Just put your name out there, Gavin.
Oh,
Just
you
put your
trying to
name
take it away from us, Gavin?
Hey,
What's the
he
deal?
is plugging.
My bad.
He's plugging himself.
My bad.
Gavin.
My name's
It's
Gavin.
back. It's
Check
back
out my YouTube.
It is.
Hey, one thing to say out there too is, if you've got a technique you would like for us to put on technique of the week, or would like to see what, because all the techniques that we have that are our strongest techniques are all different from one another's.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's a technique you want to know about, comment on that, put it out there for us to talk.
Yeah, email
to
us,
that
text
technique.
us, anything.
And with that being said, if there's a topic like, hey, next week I'd like to hear something on this, I mean, feel free.
Yeah.
I mean, we're always looking for topics to.
Yeah, we're always looking at topics, and we don't usually just pick one topic. We usually have a few multiple ones. So,
and I think I asked Gavin like 5 times what her topic was.
Yeah,
in the past 2 days.
Hey, Gilmore wants to see that backlash of the week. We gotta get that out, man.
Yeah, and we need to we need y'all to send in the videos of your backlashes of the week. I think me and Gavin did get some video of our Tuesday night tournament.
Yeah, there is a funny one because we doubled up and my crankbait was still in the net, and then I had to net the fish with the rod in my hand and the net, and yeah, it's a mess.
But send those in.
Whitney wants to see trip stories. She should go. If you don't get that, that's it. She don't get that kind of detail.
All right, guys. Like I said, go check out our social media. This will be up on Spotify. If you're watching on Spotify right now, thank you for listening the whole time. Go check us out on YouTube. We're live every Sunday at 8 o'clock. If anything changes, we'll let y'all know. But let's head out of here.
All right.
See y'all next week.
All right.
See y'all next week. Love you, Gav.
See you, everybody.
You're Ivy.
See, there's that blood thicker than water thing, Rob.
Buy cheeseburger, Eddie.
See you, cheeseburger.
I got my cheeseburger. I don't need you, Rob.